Hi everyone, and welcome to Janie's Chat. It's great to have you all here with me again, and it was great to get all the feedback from last week's chat, and I'm so happy to hear the stories of how the topics that we discussed last week have really helped you a lot. So thanks for the feedback, and please remember always, whenever you're watching any of Janie's chats or exploring my website, at www.janiemorris.com. If you've got some ideas or if you've got some questions that you might like me to help you with, please feel free to subscribe and contact me. Send me those emails and messages on Facebook in particular, and let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how I can help you, because most of the time whatever you're thinking or whatever's going on in your world is going on in somebody else's life, and if we can address those topics here on Janie's Chat and just help you, and of course we'll probably be helping a lot of other people as well, so keep those messages and emails coming. Thank you. This week what I'd like to talk about on Janie's Chat is something that's been coming up for a while with not just my clients and people that I, run into, talk to, as we all do every day, but something that came up for me personally a couple of weeks ago, which was quite annoying, and I'm going to share it with you, and let me know if you have had this happen to you. I, like everybody else, like the millions and millions of people around the world, I have a phone, a mobile phone. If you're in America, they're called cell phones. And last year, I changed my plan with my service provider. And in doing so, I also got a new telephone. Now, this new telephone that I received was a completely different brand to the one that I've had for the last couple of years, that I'm very familiar with and that I have no problems with and very happy with. However, what I found out was that in order for me to use my new telephone, I had to transfer all of the addresses, all of the contact details from my other phone into this phone. Now, I'm not a teenager and I'm not in my 20s. So this posed with this scenario, I got quite fearful because I didn't know how to do this. I'm not tech savvy. If I was, we'd probably be back in the studios again doing these segments for you. But I'm not. As I explained on my last Janie's Chat, I've only just learned how to do this to communicate with you. So what I did with my new phone was I left it in the box for 4 months before I finally overcame my fear and decided to find someone who might be able to put the two phones together and swap the contacts over, because my fear was that I was going to lose all the contacts that I had in there. And I can hear some of you saying right now, I know what you're saying, Janie, we've gone through this ourselves and we've lost all of the contacts. I've heard those stories, and that's why I was in fear. So what I did was I found somebody who could do it for me, and it took them a long time, but they managed to get it organized. So that was great. I was very happy. And then within a day or so, my new phone, it started playing up. It wasn't doing all the things that my other phone did. It wasn't receiving messages because apparently it wasn't, the messages that were coming through weren't compatible with my new handset. And so the frustration levels that I had been experiencing were rising and rising and rising and rising. Well, months later, let me tell you, this scenario is still going on. The phone's been back and forth to the service provider, trying to fix that issue, trying to get it all sorted. And guess what? I'm still using the original handset that I'd had for years, because I started using that again because I was used to it. The reason I'm sharing that with you is that what this brought up for me was overwhelm and change. And it concerned me, and I've had a lot of conversations with some of my friends in the last couple of weeks over this, because I thought, am I crazy? This is, why am I getting myself so upset? It's just a phone. Yeah, it's just a phone. I mean, like 20 years ago, none of us had mobile phones. So, you know, why am I so upset about this? I was upset about it because my main portal of communication in my business is my telephone and my computer. And my telephone was not working correctly, and I didn't know simplistically how to fix this. So here's my message. Here's what I'm trying to get across to you. What's come up with all of my friends that I've been talking to over the last couple of weeks about my issue with my phone is that I'm not alone. A lot of people live in daily overwhelm. And what I mean by that is that everything that's going on in our lives now is moving at such a fast pace. And we've got so much going on. We have our personal lives, we have our family lives, we have our business lives, we have, you know, the things that we want to achieve in our lives, we have the work that we want to do to give back and to help others in our communities, and you know, the daily struggles and trials and tribulations, let alone the moments of joy and happiness and pockets of our days that we seek just to have for ourselves. And so the overwhelm is going higher and higher and higher and higher. And what this brought back for me was getting back to basics. Is it so bad? Would it be so tragic to do a stock take of your life and sit down, take half an hour and divide your life onto a piece of paper? That's right, I'm saying a piece of paper. I'm not saying put it on a spreadsheet on a computer. I'm not saying, you know, put it on some program or something. I'm actually suggesting to you to get a book, to get a piece of paper, and to divide that piece of paper up into every aspect of your life. And then do a stock take of each element of your life, where you're at, what you're doing, what you'd like it to look like, where you'd like things to be, and see if you can't break it down and bring it back to basics. Because what I've learned over the last couple of weeks is that the overwhelm in my life and the overwhelm in many others, including my clients, that we've been, you know, looking at this as a main topic in the last week of my mentoring coaching with them in particular, is that we're actually allowing ourselves to become overwhelmed. We're actually not saying no enough. We're actually just accepting everything that happens. Like one of my clients yesterday, when we were talking about this, was so upset and so angry because their service provider had done an automatic update on their phone, and as a direct result of that, so many things had changed. And she's my age, and all she wants is a telephone that she can pick up, find somebody's telephone number, dial it, and talk to them. Not do all these other magical things that happen when these phones get updated. So my message to you for this week is, why don't you do a stock take of your life? Have a look and see where you're overwhelmed, and have a look and see where you may be able to just bring it back to basics. Bring it back to basics. That's what I'm suggesting. I know it's simplistic, and I know it sounds way too easy, but just think about it. Take a risk. Actually, give it a shot for a week, and every aspect of your life, take it back to basics. And start from the beginning, and don't allow yourself to be overwhelmed, and learn to say no to things. And learn to not be in fear, because you know what that does? It brings up this pain right here. It brings up this pain that builds and builds and builds, and the overwhelm gets so much that the stress is so high that it sometimes becomes unbearable. So that's my message for you this week. How about doing a stock take of your life? Have a look where you're overwhelmed, and give it a shot. Bring it back to basics. And I'd love to know how you go. Send me an email. Thanks. Thanks for listening. And remember, have an amazing week. Create a fabulous day.